espera quien te quiere. Quand viens-tu en voyage avec moi? Hoy je ne resterai pas.
That was French-British indie pop group François and the Atlas Mountains. Their frontman, François Marry, is our guest on today's music show, and he's actually here to talk about a new project, a collaboration with French rock group Lysistrata. Their self-titled album Park will be coming out on March 25th. François Marry, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, pleasure.
As I mentioned, this is a new project for you. Can you just start by telling us about Park and how this collaboration came about?
Well, Park started in the small town of Saintes, which is in the southwest of France, near La Rochelle. And basically they're much younger than me, Lysistrata, but I met them through various shows that we went to see together. And we bonded, and it was fun to express music in a different way with them.
Yeah, because Lysistrata's kind of punk rock sound is a pretty big contrast with your lighter, dreamier style. What was it about them that made you want to work with them?
Well, I guess I had this energy hidden in me for a long time, and I kind of went to the more quiet side of music for a while, but then I felt like I wanted to go back to my roots.
All right, well, let's get a taste of that hidden side of you and that collaboration. This is Park's first single, Réveil heureux, or Happy Awakening. All right, that was the clip for Réveil heureux. We have motocross riders, ice cream cones, the four of you in what look like pajamas and masks. Can you explain the idea behind this clip?
Well, we had to come up with an idea really quickly, and I just went literally to the impression I had with the music, which was kind of cool and dirty. So we just tried to express that literally with motocrosses and ice cream.
And are you a fan of motocross? Is that sort of your idea of a happy awakening?
No, I'm not a big fan of motocross, but I found it really thrilling, and it felt like when I played the guitar, it feels like it gave me the impression I was on a motocross going like so that's why I wanted motocross in the clip.
And you've compared this album to sort of the final hours of a work holiday party where people are loosened up and they start to reveal their true selves. You already sort of mentioned that, but is this album, do you think, a revelation of your true self?
Yeah, I don't know. It's when I tried to express it to the label, I was remembering when I used to work in Bristol Cathedral School in Bristol. And everyone wears suit and everyone is a bit kind of like, I was very shy at the other teachers, and at Christmas parties, everyone got drunk, people had stupid hats on their head, and I was like, okay, well, people can be like this as well. So I guess, expressing music with Park was a bit showing a crazier side of what I do.
And like Lysistrata, you grew up in Saintes on the west coast of France. You spent 8 years in Bristol in southwest England. You've also lived in a lot of European capitals. How have all the places that you've lived influenced you and your music?
I guess it just gives you a broader approach to how to make music, but also how to play shows. I found in the UK, you more easily play shows in smaller venues, in pubs, places like this, whereas in France, you have to be ready for big stages. The protocol is a bit more rigid in France. So I guess it was looser making music in the UK and other places I visited too as well.
And is there any one place where you feel more at home?
Well, now I feel at home by the ocean where I live in the southwest near Bayonne.
And you're also a visual artist. You actually did the album artwork for Banane Bleue, which was your latest album with François and the Atlas Mountains. You also kept an illustrated tour diary. What do you enjoy about visual art? Does it sort of satisfy something for you that music doesn't?
Yes, well, I spend lots of time drawing and painting. It's kind of a meditative approach for me to art, whereas music is more social. I like to interact with other musicians. So, painting is a way to kind of get into a dream state on my own. It's a good place to be.
Is music sort of visual for you, or do you see those as sort of two separate worlds?
Music is more energy and like human interaction to me.
I also wanted to bring up literature because you adapted the work of the French poet Charles Baudelaire into music. You recently performed some of the songs at France's National Library. What's your relationship with Baudelaire's poetry? What about him has appeals to you?
Yeah, I guess he's the base of a lot of what we do in poetry in France. He's so influential, and working on his poems made me realize that his poems haven't aged at all. It's like super, super quality. It's very modern. It's very rhythmic. It's very musical. So yeah, I don't know. It's like the soil of a lot of what poets do in France.
And your lyrics are often in both French and English, and sometimes other languages. What determines which language you write in?
Good question. I guess the people I want to talk to. I think lots of songs I wrote in English were addressed to some people I loved and still love in England, and vice versa.
All right, François, stay with us because we're going to go on to take a look at some music news, starting with France's top music awards show, the Victoire de la Musique. Like the Grammy Awards in the US, the winners are chosen by a panel of professionals. This year's awards did get some criticism for not representing the diversity of the French music scene. Now, the award for top female artist went to singer Clara Luciani, while rapper Orelsan took home 3 awards, including Best Male Artist. Belgian star Stromae kicked off the proceedings with a performance of Santé from his much-anticipated new album. Let's take a look.
Toi la fête, tu la passes aux toilettes. Et si on célébrait ceux qui ne célèbrent pas? Pour une fois, j'aimerais lever mon verre à ceux qui n'en ont pas. À ceux qui n'en ont pas. Tout le monde.
François, I want to ask you, what do you think about awards shows in general? Are they something that you care about as a musician?
I don't know. I feel like the music I do and the music I like is in a different world to that. But I find it very interesting, and I really like the work of Stromae and Orelsan. Like, we played with them, and I find them very interesting. But I guess they represent a way of making music, and it's good that artists like me and Lysistrata and Park do other stuff as well. It kind of gives us a more complete image of what music can be.
That makes sense. Nice to have the full spectrum.
Yeah.
Let's take a look now at some of this week's new releases. Australian rockers Midnight Oil released their new album Resist this week. A group led by Peter Garrett has used their music to speak out against climate change for over 4 decades. Their latest album takes a more urgent and even angry tone at times. It includes tracks recorded with their late bass player Bones Hillman, who died in 2020, and its release comes as the group has just kicked off what they've said will be their final tour.
Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. The treasurer knows the rule on crops. It's cold.
François, current events and societal issues have seeped into your music before. You addressed immigration in your 2017 album Solide Mirage, which you wrote while you were in Brussels. Are there any issues you've had on your mind lately that might show up in this album or in the ones to come?
Well, yes, a lot. But it's a tricky task to try to bring social and global issues into music and still keep the energy of the music moving. And because it's so daunting, it's so depressing, the news, when I see the news every day. I'm really addicted to news, actually, which is, it's nice to be on a news setup here, because I go and check the news every day, and I try to find a way to mix that with my music, but I feel like I try more and more to make music as a relief, because the world is a heavy place to live in, and I've got lots of respect for bands like that who try to merge social and global issues into their music. I think it's really necessary to bring it yeah, it's a work in progress. I'll do my best to try to.
Yeah, we definitely are all in need of relief. You did say, though, that there are a couple things you've had on your mind. Do you mind, without having to comment on them, just sort of listing off a couple of the topics?
Yeah, I'm just, the French elections are coming, and I find the way people address each other, there's lots of violence in it. And I would really like people to realize that we can just be, it's just easier to just be respectful. So that's what I would like to put in my music.
All right. Well, if you come out with a French election album, I'm sure there are many people, myself included, who would be very eager to listen to it. Finally, this Friday, also we'll see a new album from the British indie band Metronomy. Small World is their 7th LP, and it was written during the first year of the coronavirus pandemic. The group describes it as a return to simple pleasures and existential questions. It still, though, has all of the upbeat positivity that Metronomy fans love so much. We're going to leave you with their track, Things Will Be Fine. But before we go, I want to thank our guest, François Marry. His new group, Park, releases their first album on March 25th. Keep an eye out for it. For more arts and culture news, you can always head to our website and stay in touch on social media. The latest news update is coming up on France 24 just after this.
As soon as you do, I'll say when I've made up my mind. Change the world. You could be the one to drag me out this hole. Yeah, I might save the day.